Well, good evening. Welcome back to the Christian Whistleblower Jeff Daugherty NCK YouTube channel. I had some stuff to do today. I'm sorry it's been a little bit of a light day as far as videos go, but near-death experiences. This is something that I've always had an interest in. I've never had one, but being 35 years dealing with spirituality, 20 years as a licensed minister, an evangelist that went from church to church, I heard many, many stories about near-death experiences. And I remember when I was pretty young. Trying to remember when it would have been. Probably around, well, probably around 95 or so, 1995. So we're talking about '05, 15, over 20 years ago. I was in Eastern Oregon, and I had what I would call a revelation because I had never felt right about near-death experiences. Oh, it's so nice, you go to the light and you feel so happy and you feel so good. And I had never, something about it always told me this isn't what people think it is. And just for, way of being a little studious, let's look at near-death experiences, some of the empirical data about near-death experiences. Near-death experience, or an NDE, is, of course, a personal experience associated with death or impending death. Such experiences encompass sensations like detachment from the body, feelings of levitation, security, warmth, absence of absolute dissolution, and the presence of light. And that comes from almost 40 years of investigating near-life experiences, an overview of mainstream scientific journals from, I can't pronounce that person's name, but anyway, that's where it comes from. Neuroscience suggests that an NDE is a subjective phenomenon resulting from disturbed bodily multisensory integration that occurs during life-threatening events, according to Olaf Blanke, the neurology of consciousness. Now, they're a recognized part of some transcendental and religious beliefs in an afterlife. So it's people that believe in an afterlife that are normally regularly experiencing these things. And there are different common characteristics. Typically, there's a sense of a self-awareness of being dead. The person realizes, oh, I'm dead. And typically, there's a sense of peace, well-being, and painlessness, positive emotions, and an out-of-body experience where someone will see their body from an outside position. You've all heard the stories. I saw them working on me in the operating room. I was looking down on myself there. I was. A tunnel experience of entering through a dark tunnel and having a light at the end of it. A intense feeling of unconditional love and acceptance. Encountering beings of light dressed in white. Also feelings of being united with deceased loved ones. Getting a life review, seeing your life flash before your eyes, getting knowledge about your life and the nature of the universe, a sense of approaching a border, suddenly finding yourself back in your body. So typically the psychology and the experience of a near-death experience is one that people will report as being overwhelmingly positive, but it still bugged me. And what I felt was a revelation, and at the time I was still in the midst of being a preacher. I had started to come out of some of the I was I was realizing that the gig was rigged, but I was hoping that maybe I could find some way to unrig the gig. And I started thinking about this, and of course at that time I meant praying. And what I received at that time, and it's funny that it really is not as far off as I thought it was initially. I thought that you here's like this picture here. You're going towards the light. You're going towards the light. You feel good. And my thing then was, but all these people that aren't Christians, they're not saved. So they're not going to heaven. They're not going to any place good. How could they be going towards the light? How could they feel good? How could they feel positive? And what I thought then in my Jesus infected, the Jesus virus had me good. What I was feeling in that infected state was there's no way this could be good because these people are on their way to hell. And my thought was that as you get closer and closer to this light, right? I mean, you're moving into the light, you're moving into the light, you're moving into the light, you're feeling all positive, you're feeling all happy, you're moving into the light, everything's all great. And then right when you almost get to the light, boom, the devil jumps out. Ha ha, I gotcha. That's what I thought it really was. I thought you go to the light. It was Satan's last great gotcha before people were in his clutches. He wanted to get the last little bit of terror out of them. Of course, that was from a completely flawed paradigm that we're sinners and that we go to hell if we don't get saved by the blood of Jesus. That is blood magic. That is bad doctrine. That is not the truth. That's what they want you to believe because they want you to be in a fear and guilt-based matrix of control that says, hey, look, you're a sinner, you're in need of a savior, and we got the only one in town. So come on down and do what we do, when we say to do it, where we say to do it, how we say to do it, as long as we say to do it. And maybe, just maybe, you'll escape hell and get to go to this place called heaven. Maybe. Of course, that is what we are here doing now as a Christian whistleblower, exposing that as untrue. However, there's lately been a sense and reports of many people saying, don't go to the light. It's a trick. It's a trap. And that you should go somewhere else. I don't know what they say, where else to go, but don't go to the light. So I came across some information the other day, and I think this information is right on, and I wanted to share it with you. You've heard me talk in the past about soul farms, and I will link my soul farm video in the box below in the comments section. So you've heard me talk about soul farms before, and what a soul farm is that after you die, the entities that have been keeping you captive during your Christian experience or your Islamic experience or your Jewish experience, the denizens of big time religion, and many times even the New Age guru, spirit guide, ascended master people that you've farmed out your self-will to. Oh yes, you can be just as controlled and just as vampirized by a New Age or a spiritual guru as you could from any Christian pastor or priest. Many of you have exchanged pastor and priest for a guru and spirit guide, and you've just gone from the frying pan into the fire. You're really worse off because you think, oh, now I've matured and I know that I'm doing right. And you're still not making your own decisions. You're still not figuring things out by yourself. You still haven't reached a level of spiritual maturity. You're still depending on others to tell you what to do, when to do, where to do, how to do. So you've got to be your own guru. You've got to guide your own spirit. You've got to master your own ascension. You have to become your own spiritual leader. It's not bad to get advice. It's not bad to get help every now and then. But if you're going to a spiritual advisor, a reader, or anything that is, you're going for more than 3, 4, 5, 6 months at the max, then that person is not doing you any good. They're doing you harm, and they're perpetuating a sense of helplessness on your part, and not to mention lining their pockets. If a person that you're going to for spiritual help is any good, it shouldn't take them any more than 6 months to teach you to be able to do what they do. And if they can't do it in 6 months or less, find somebody else, because that person is not very good. Spiritual workers should not be creating dependency. They should be creating independent, powerful, spiritual people that can handle their own business. Now, every now and then you need some help, I understand. Or if you're young and it takes you a few months to get it going, I understand. But don't allow yourself to be into one of these long-term deals where 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to this spiritual person who's supposed to be helping you. They're not helping you if they haven't helped you towards independence. I don't know where that came from, but it's certainly applicable. But here's what's happening on the near-death experiences. Near-death experiences are a mistake made by entities fighting to get to you before you die so they can be the first one to vampirize your spirit. It's like, I didn't realize this, but when you call a tow truck or when a call goes out for an accident or something like that, these tow truck drivers, they're independent drivers, and they will race to get to a scene first because the first one there is going to get the tow and get the money. And I'm not saying anything bad about tow truck drivers, but I didn't realize that. So you've got this battle, this competition going on to be the first one there so they can get your car. Well, something very similar is happening when it looks like you're gonna die. When it looks like your physical existence in this physical body has come to an end, and it looks like you're about ready to quote unquote give up the ghost, here come the tow truck drivers. Here come the ambulances, the wambulances, the spiritual vampires descend, and they're trying to get to you first. So in a near-death experience, one of these things makes a mistake, and they come to you too soon before you're actually dead. And they start running their con on you. Oh, feels so good, and see grandma, and see all your loved ones, and hear the angels, feel the warm fuzzies. Just come on in. It's going to be all right. It'll be fun. You'll feel wonderful. And then you don't die, and back you are. Near-death experiences are when near-death experiences occur when spiritual vampires jump the gun, miscalculate, and come to you before you're really dead. I think I've seen something like that on Sam and Dean. What's that called? Supernatural. Somebody, and most of that show is campy and silly, but every now and then there's somebody involved with that show that knows what's going on, because you'll have these nuggets of truth dropped in. But that's what a near-death experience is. It's not real go to the light, super duper great stuff. It's not really your loved ones. It's not really good feelings and unicorns and rainbows and angels and harps. That's not what it is. And by tipping their hand, by making these mistakes, they've allowed us to be forewarned, which is allowing us to be forearmed. So what we know is that when we die, when it's time for us to leave this physical body, there's going to be nefarious vampiric entities that are going to try to vampirize us, that are going to try to lead us and guide us into a place that is not of our choosing. So the fact of the matter is that you have to know that you don't go with anyone anywhere. Don't take the candy from the strangers. Don't get in the van with the man with the puppy. Don't do any of the other analogies that I could throw out but are silly. So when you do die, don't go towards the light. Don't go towards the left. Don't go towards the right. Don't do anything until you yourself know what is right for you to do. That's why I talk to you and harp on you constantly to learn to understand and hear your blink. Learn to trust your blink, your own sense of spiritual reality and rightness, your higher self, if you will. That's why I'm constantly on you to meditate, meditate, meditate. How many of you have done what I've asked you to do? Start literally with 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, where you just meditate. You clear your mind. Focus on a spot, clear your mind. And that's where you learn to hear the voice of your own spirit and the voice of the inexpressible ones. No one can teach you how to know where to go. You just have to learn and know where to go. You got to know how to spiritually look both ways. You got to know how to avoid the spiritual buses. You've got to know not to take the candy from the stranger, not to get in the van with the guy with the puppy. You've got to learn and know. These entities are fighting with one another to get you at the moment of death and lead you and guide you into a place where they can keep you enslaved and use your energy. It may look good, it may feel good, it may sound good, but until you know in your knower, until you just know deep down in your own knower, don't be a goer. Don't go till you know. Nothing wrong with taking a little time out. Nothing wrong with just kind of chilling a little bit until you're sure. Much better than to make a mistake, get in the van, and the puppy's a wolf. Eat the candy and it's poison. That's why I try to get you to be a free spiritual agent. That's why I get you and try with everything I can to get you to be your own guru, to learn how to guide your own spirit, to learn how to master your own ascension. Because the day is coming for each and every one of us, my friend. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, next month, or next decade, but one of these days, our physical existence in this physical body is going to come to an end. And that's really the beginning. Where will you go? Where will you wind up? What will you do? Make sure that it's a decision you make. Make sure it's a road you take. Make sure when you come to the fork in the road, take it. But make sure you're making your own decision based on your own spiritual knowledge, based on your own psychic sureness. Meditate, study, listen, and you'll know. Learn to hear your blink. Learn to trust your blink. Don't go anywhere until you know it's the right place for you. Near-death experiences, yes, It's the concept is frightening that things are going to try to take you places that aren't for your good, even after you finish your life in this body. I wish I could tell you it's not so, but I wouldn't be telling you the truth. We've been forewarned because they've made mistakes. They've had premature. Um, they've tried trying to think of the right word here. They've tried to make premature captures. They've tried to make premature encapsulations. And thankfully, they tipped their hand, and we have been provided with knowledge that allows us to avoid those liars, those deceivers, those vampires. It might as well be Dracula, because that's exactly what it is. And you don't want to, oh, look, leak project. You don't want to be caught someplace where you don't want to be. It's up to you. Remember the Fram oil filter man? You can pay me now, you can pay me later. You can listen to me now, or you'll wish you listened to me later. One of these days, you will have to be your own guru. One of these days, you will have to guide your own spirit. One of these days, you will have to master. You will be the master of your own ascension. You will be your own guru. You will be the guider of your own spirit. That day is not the day to learn how to do it. Now's the day to learn how to do it. I'm here to help you learn how to do that. I'm here to help you unwind your mind. I'm here to help you unindoctrinate yourself. I'm Jeffrey Darty, the Christian Whistleblower. This is a good place to be. It's a good place to start. It's going to be okay. We're going to get you lined up so that you know what you know when you need to know it. Jeffrey Darty, the Christian Whistleblower. Unwind your mind, unindoctrinate yourself, guide your own spirit, be your own guru, master your own ascension, and be excellent to yourself and be excellent to each other.